chats and recaps with myself and Tasha. Tasha has a lovely background today. Wow. Moon, ravens, bats, really setting us into the spooky vibe.
It'll be like this until November.
Oh man, well welcome. We are glad to be back with another recap show. This is for the week of August the 8th through the 14th on Matt Bird Streams. I think this was actually a week where we had all of our shows. Like all of them. There wasn't a cancellation or postponement. So perfect.
Amazing.
So we're gonna start out with the Forsaken for last Monday. Discovering a little more about their ancestors' past, their party finish up their questions with Miki, the Warforged, and take the items with them as they start back towards the settlement. But first, they stop at a small house further up the mountain. Magdalene's grandmother, Helena Rockadell, seeming to be the strategist of the torch, the party's ancestors. Yeah, traffic. The party's ancestors. She tries to set them on a course of action, giving them what surly guidance she can, while also providing them with information, including maps laying out the current locations of most of the time devices. Armed with more than they had a day earlier, the group head back to the settlement, seeking out Nadrano. Gerbil heads off on his own, however, finding Shanad, Losa, and Elsatra, an elf who was around when Losa and her brother were brought to the clan that once lived there. Gerbil learns that Losa's parents were an elf and a bugbear, and that the timing matches pretty closely to his time in the Feywild with Addie. With his suspicions revealed to Elsatra, and after lending his longbow to Losa for practice, Gerbil heads back to the group. Just as he gets there, however, someone peeks into Nadrano's tent, letting him know that someone had just came through their teleportation circle.
Who was it?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I know. And actually, we revealed the Patreon exclusive. So the patrons know. But we'll find out tonight. Yeah, so Gerbil has kids.
Wow!
Yeah, I mean, that's what, because, he was in the Feywild with an elf, with, his partner, Addie. Kind of lost track of what happened there, doesn't remember everything. And, yeah. We have these cute little half-elf, half-bugbear kids.
Sounds so and elegant at the same time. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see arts for this.
Oh, sure. I'll have to do that sometime. So on Wednesday's the Penumbra Assembly, Tasha.
Let's see. So as our party tries to figure out what to do about their guard situation, Jade, the Tabaxi inn worker, runs away in shock after walking in on their cleanup. Yvonne running after her, desperate to explain and get help. Meanwhile, Quinn lays out the guard situation in Amicare, while Orr, the innkeeper, provides a private and discreet warning. Be careful. He agrees with Quinn that the other guards in the city may not be entirely innocent, and that they may need to be cautious who they trust from here on out in the city. 3 guards soon arrive, taking stock of everything that happens, and getting Quinn's and the party's testimonies. Guard Kellery is dead. The guards warn that the group will not go unwatched in the city, and that they will be collected when report must be given to higher ups at the estate. After they leave, it's a waiting game. Accordia Zolan's messenger, Vucek, finds them, thinking it's the perfect time to talk before he and Zenith leave the material plane. He tries to answer what questions he can for Accordia, while also providing them with a bit more info on who hired their benefactor and why. The party then decide it may be a good time to pay Lady Lyra and Kira a visit. But once they arrive at the estate, are refused entry until they are collected for their report. As they leave, however, another approaches. It sounds a lot like my dog.
Yes, yeah. And a lot to say. Your dog had something to say about this.
She was very passionate
Summary.
about this
Very
episode.
passionate about the summary. Yeah. I love that the group was like, even though the guards who they know are from the estate were like, yeah, you're gonna have to give a report, we'll come and get you, you know, don't do anything, you're being watched, are like, hey, let's go to the estate and try to talk to the person who runs this place. And think that they're going to get an in. Think that they're going to be let inside. We might be wanted for murder, but the ruler might want to talk to us one-on-one. Maybe. You know, there's no security issue here. It's okay.
Fine.
It's fine. Yeah, so they're in some possible hot water. We'll see. So on on Saturday's in Extremis, let me just take that off here and switch the marker. Look at me. When our Sky Pirates battle with the giant subterranean lizards got much more intense with the arrival of a local rock, which is like this huge eagle bird thing. The battle became less about winning and much, much more about surviving. Friends were dropping one after another, barely being raised from unconsciousness just in time to be knocked out again. Some crew were lifted 100 feet or more and then dropped by this rock creature. Thankfully, their creative and impromptu decision-making in battle kept them alive long enough to overcome the challenges of this battle and got way out of hand, make it back to their wagons, and use their skills to obscure their gateway and leave without a trace.
Like the spell.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So Sinister went unconscious 3 times. Liazana went unconscious twice. Relith went unconscious twice. And post-battle, now that we're supposedly safe away from this, because we ran from the eagle because it was just too much. We got the lizards taken down. Or at least a good portion of that was Zia and Grundy who did that. And Sinister. And we got them taken down, got back to the wagons. Everyone's revived now. And there are none of us that are above 8 hit points.
Damn.
It really seemed like a Kira's Lament. Yep, predicament, but we're all okay for now.
Goodness.
It's wild. Those wizards, they didn't have a lot of hit points apparently, but one that they had multi-attacks, so they could hit twice. They were all in the same initiative order. We were all together, and they each hit did 20 to 35, 36 damage. So
lizards are awesome.
Of course. So what happened on Obsidian Scar?
Ooh, because it was new.
Yay!
Yay! So after a rowdy evening at Lashana's party, the crew set out to prepare themselves for the evening's plans of sneaking into the temple of Kellimbor and taking a sacred artifact. They scout out the temple itself, determining its security measures, then head out to find non-lethal magic in the hopes of only subduing those who might get in the way. The party notices an influx in tieflings, making Ileana a bit uneasy based on a letter she sent a few months ago. After a lovely dinner at Now Yushishi, our heroes met up with Lashana, hatched a plan, and began their infiltration of the temple of Derek's deity.
Bum bum bum! Just to clarify, Ileana was not just nervous that there were more tieflings in the city.
Right. Because they were hot.
Well, no. She had asked a bunch of tieflings for help, with her Empire situation where she came from, because they're trying to kill her. She roaches to a couple of tiefling people for help that have like big armies, and someone responded, just doesn't know who it is, was tipped off so that they're looking for her, and she's not exactly 100% positive they're looking for her to help or if they're looking like to kill her. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, so it's not just because there's an influx of tieflings that she's like, ugh! There are reasons behind it. She's not racist. Not anymore.
You are just optimistically cautious.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Ileana let out a little bit more about her past to the group, which was fun. We were trying to kind of like eat up some time because Derek wasn't there last night, so we were like, well, we don't want to get too far into this temple raid of his deity without Derek being there. So
that's smart.
Yeah.
Did you play like Never Have I Ever?
No.
What is the one that we did?
No, yeah, something like that. No, Ileana was just being like, just some things came up. They were in a temple, and she started talking about how she doesn't really care for her deity anymore, and then like the whole like tiefling situation came up, and then it's fascinating. So that's all the recaps we have for you now. We have in the future, next few months, some more D&D shows coming, so this will be a fuller experience. It'll be longer, right?
Y'all love
girthier, longer and girthier, and it will fill you up more. Okay, let's go. So we do have a website up and running, a merch store at madbirdstreams.com. You can find our merch there, as well as links to other things. That's also on our Twitch page as well. We do still have occasionally, we're working on getting this more consistently on the schedule, the print to paint on Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We just have to work on Dan's wake up schedule on Mondays.
What a call out.
Listen, it's fine.
It's fine. This is our show.
We're going to get that together. Birthdays this week, however, we don't have any cancellations as far as shows go this week. Birthdays this week. We have Michelle Bright Meow. Michelle, who plays on our Monday night campaign as Juniper, is in the community. Her birthday is on Saturday, on the 20th. And also who's in our Twitch chat sometimes, not really in the Discord, but Wavy Lions had a birthday last week, so great August birthdays. That's all that we got for this week. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Twitch, we'll see you in Discord, and we'll see you next week for some more recaps. All right, bye.
panties.
1.
Oh. Lovely. See the things we're capable of when you give us the time. It's amazing.
Hi. Welcome to another Penumbra Assembly. Glad to have you.
Hi.
Hopefully you're having a decent Wednesday today. Welcome all of our viewers, all of my players, to episode 10 of season 1 of the Penumbra Assembly. No, actually, I think that it was right as we went on air that Granny Panties was muttered.
Yeah.
So
I thought there was a countdown.
How dare you, Frank?
Yeah, I guess tonight was not the night.
Because I actually went live on 1 instead of 0.
I take it back. Next week, the countdown will be perfect. Not this week.
I wouldn't hold your breath. But you know. Okay.
This is a general principle. Don't hold your breath.
Right. I got some music going. So yeah, Steph is a director. No, I am absolutely not. Only professionals here at the Mad Derbs. All right, chat. Let me know if music is too loud. Should be okay, but I bow to the masses sometimes. Other times I step on them. Anyways, let's go into a recap of last week, shall we? For episode 9, you find that. So let me pull this over here. For episode 9, as our party tried to figure out what to do with their guard situation, Jade, the tabaxi inn worker, ran away in shock after walking in on their cleanup. Yvonne running after her, desperate to explain and get help. Meanwhile, Quinn laid out the guard situation. Kind of explained the guard situation in Amekir, while Orr, the innkeeper, had a private and discreet warning for the group. Be careful. He agreed with Quinn that the other guards in the city may not be entirely innocent and that they may need to be cautious who they trust from here on out in the city. 3 guards soon arrived, taking stock of everything that happened and getting Quinn's and the party's testimonies. Guard Kelry is dead. The guards warn that the group will not go unwatched in the city and that they will be collected when a report must be given to higher ups at the estate. After they leave, it's a waiting game. Accordia Zolan's messenger Gujek finds them, thinking it's the perfect time before he and Zenith leave for the material plane to have a conversation. He tried to answer what questions he could for Accordia, while also providing them with a bit more info on who hired their benefactor and why. The party then decided it may be a good time to pay Lady Lyra and Makira a visit, but once they arrive at the estate, are refused entry until they are collected for their report. As they leave, or kind of congregate there, however, another approaches, which was the elf that was dressed, kind of finely, stepped up to the guards and was chatting with them. One of the guards kind of went inside the estate, and as this seemingly male-presenting elf was standing there, kind of turns and gives a little wink to the party, and then turns back to the guards. I'll go ahead and let, if y'all wouldn't mind, for anyone who thinks that they might hear something the guard, is paying attention to what's going on, if you wouldn't mind rolling a perception check for me.
Alrighty.
And then after we do the perception check, we'll do a inspiration roll too. Alright, here, let me go around after I get things kind of fixed here.
Perception.
And to put that right there for right now. Always too many windows. Alright, I'm gonna go, since everyone seems to be cameras set up, I'm just gonna bring this down a bit. And let's see here. All right. So, perception checks. Drexlin, if you rolled one.
13.
Okay. Yavani, if you rolled one.
Yvonne rolled a 10, which reinforces my commitment that Yvonne is convinced the person who's walked in is Zenith.
Okay.
And is totally distracted and enamored by that fact.
Okay. You see, Yvonne just be like, just kind of like shake his head to him, shake their head to themselves like Zenith. Joe, did you roll a perception check?
No, Yo is not being extremely perceptive right
Okay, cool. And Lev
21.
and Dakos.
19.
Okay. All right. So I would say Dakos and Lev, you would pick up that the guards are addressing this elven male. Again, I'll give a little description, kind of a dark peach color to his skin. These kind of like striking turquoise blue eyes with this dark hair with a bit of blue tint to it. He has little like jewels kind of in his hair, as well as wearing a pink dangly earring. Clothing is very, very fine. I have some embroidery in there, some like nice fabrics. But they are addressing this this person as Sir Morwarin. And I'll type that into the chat. And of course, the cat went out of the room. So let me type this in and then give me 1 second while I maneuver around all of this shit.
Ecos. I think that was Zenith.
Oh.
It's true. Zenith sometimes disguises themselves. I think it's Zenith. But
I have seen her win.
Don't tell anyone.
Nope. All right. Okay. You see the guards kind of maybe just asking this Sir Morwarin about their day, about the trip over here, the ride on the boat. Other than that, I think that the tiefling walked away, I believe, when all that was happening.
It's just us. Okay. I'll just continue telling. Shit, where's my? Sorry, here we go. So Drax said, yes, that tiefling was absolutely lying about what they do with the animals, bringing them to the woods, and what happens out there. Those two, something about those two things, false. If that's correct, DM, if I'm remembering that right.
Sure.
He said, "Oh, we just the constructs bring them out and release them into the wild.
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't go, or they don't go, but the constructs do. They send them out and release them. So if there's anything that's
yes, it was that he was like that he didn't know what went on out there, that the constructs take the animals to the forest and they release them. Yeah.
Just I don't know. Everyone's so stubborn here. I don't know if we get any answers shaking that tree, but it just to Yo's point, I'll kind of look at Yo as well, speaking a little louder as long as we're away from the guards a bit. There's clearly something going on in the woods.
If you kind of, since you're talking about him, Dakos, you would kind of look over your shoulder and see that the tiefling is now waiting for a boat for the canals. I'll also say that given your perception rolls before, that Draxel and Dacos and Love would have also noticed Quinn very alert to this new person talking to the guards.
Mm.
And just kind of like, as you're talking, Dacos, like, Quinn's just standing there like...
Oh, this Lady Ambercare's new piece.
Eloquently put.
I'm sort of like, I catch that, but I'm mostly engaging.
Okay. It's like another, 5 minutes. The guard comes back out that went inside the estate and will escort Morwaren, to the inside of the estate, leaving 2 guards there. So, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. What's right now?
Quinn will kind of lean over and be like, oh, I wonder if he heard the name. No. I wonder who that was. He's a new one too. I haven't seen, and I think I would have seen them before.
Giovanni winks at Dacos.
I'll give a little wink back into my hair. Love, did you have something you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to ask him that, if he had, met this fellow before. But I heard the guards discussing his name, something like Sir Morwaren. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Have you heard good things, or?
I've heard of Lyra talk about him before. Friend of the
An old
family.
friend?
You could say that, yes. Huh.
Ben, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Trey's just, visiting from her father. Gonna just kind of have a little visit with her. Sure, it's good. It's fine.
From her father? You mean he's from the material plane? I don't know why Yava is jerking their thumb over their shoulder as though the material plane is right behind them, but I'm going to go with it.
No,
I've
yeah,
committed. I'm in.
I believe so, yes. Her father has a circle kind of out. There's a teleportation circle inside the estate. There's also one, I believe, if I remember correctly, he's paid a farmer out on the outskirts a lot to keep it hidden from others. So he must have come through that one. Maybe to surprise Lyra, so that she wouldn't know before. Strange. Yeah. In all the time that, at least that I was there, we didn't have really, no one really came to visit her. She would get letters occasionally, but...
I'm sorry, they're a family member. I'm related to Amkir.
No.
Just a friend of her father's.
A friend of the family. More probably a friend of Lyra's. Closer to Lyra, growing up, than,
Lovely.
and a friend of Kaelin's, Kaelin's through, Callan's through Lyra.
Yeah.
He'll go up to the guards. Quinn will. Do you know how long that it will be before we, before our talk with whoever we're talking to? No, probably a couple of hours, I guess. They'll come find you.
Time enough for lunch?
You know, that's a good idea, Quinn will say. He'll kind of like pat the guard on the shoulder. I'll be back around for lunch. If you need us, we'll be eating, and I'm sure you'll know where we're at. We will. Got it. Okay. So Quinn will come around to the rest of the group. What should we do for the next couple of hours?
Well, I don't think that's enough time to venture into the woods, so as Yava said, perhaps we go and search for a place to eat and have a nice long meal with a drink or two.
Sure. Sounds good. What are you feeling anything particular? You know, anything
at all for me.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have anything specific that you wanna try for?
Ooh, why not something a little fancy? We're by the estate and all. I'd love to try out some new delicacies from the area.
Certainly. Let me take a look here. And kind of pulls out a little notebook. Places that I've been before that might be a little bit on the fancier side.
For some strange reason, the notebook says YELP on the cover.
Yes.
That is amazing.
There is a place called the Raven. That's near the market district that we could go to. It's not extremely well to do, but one of the more kind of upscale ones, I think. Does that sound good to everyone?
Sounds good.
Well, let's go.
Absolutely.
And say that you're able to get a boat over to the outskirts of the market district. You'll see that the Raven is also has a coffee shop that is integrated into the restaurant, but also separate. There is a large raven carved on the outside, right before you go in. Some windows there at the front. The coffee shop by itself is kind of off to the side. The inside, however, is very kind of has this foresty vibe to it. Seems like someone has carved some trees into, carved out some like tree. It's not whole trees in here, but more artistic looking trees that they've put into the beams. Some wooden kind of like branches coming out with wooden leaves on them that kind of hang from the ceiling. Yeah. Let me pause this. There we go.
This is really nice. I wonder if the owner's been into the forest.
You could definitely ask, I'm sure. Let me see how busy we are. Ooh. It is bustling. Very busy. But you're able to find a table. You can either get one kind of in the back corner or there towards the entrance.
I'm waiting for Dakos to say that Dakos prefer to be on display and up front.
Yes, I mean, gives the people something to look at and say, well, buy some window shopping.
Oh boy. Okay, so I'll get
I
into
like to see and experience things. If I can peer out and see things and peer in, I'd love a window seat, please, if you're willing.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Drexler would have taken two steps towards the back corner, being the most safest place, and then do a heel turn up. I guess we're not sitting there. Okay, all right.
We'll take turns, Drexler, I promise.
As you're waiting there, a waiter will come by with this kind of blue, scraggly hair and glasses on, dressed in blues and browns, which seems to be kind of the color scheme, of the restaurant. Hi, welcome to the Raven. Can I take your order? Well, here's a menu first, and he'll pardon me. So we'll give you out some menus. On the menus, you will see roasted bear, olive pie with a glass of whiskey, roasted pork and bread with ale, pork and blue cheese with cider, steamed phoenix and poached eggs with a glass of wine, and also a vegan option that is more vegetable and fruit based.
I'm just so curious. Given the nature of phoenixes, how on earth have you managed to poach it? Would it not burst into flame and revitalize itself? This is incredible. Oh, or is it just a play on words?
Most likely a play on words, but I don't think it's an actual phoenix. But it comes out it comes out a flame, and yes.
If you could make sure that's not an actual phoenix, because I feel like I would be punished for such a thing, then I would love to have that, please.
I will make sure it's not an actual phoenix, yes. Anyone else? Or you can also ask for something off the menu. We can see if we can make it in our kitchen.
I'll have the pork and cheese with the cider, please.
Wonderful, yes.
Thank you.
Looks at Yvonne.
Oh, the vegetables, please, will be fine.
Vegetables for you. And Yo, he'll look at you.
Do you have any chicken leg or lamb leg? Perhaps cow leg?
I believe we have some lamb. Get you some lamb leg.
Yes.
Maybe they have bear leg.
We also have bear leg. Yes.
I have not had bear in many years. I will have bear. Yes.
Perfect. I highly recommend it. I'll look to you, love.
The olive pie sounds delightful. With the whiskey pairing, please.
Right. And I'll bring some of our house ale around as well as some water. Need anything else in the meantime, just let me know. We also have coffees, and he'll give you a drink menu as well. And we'll head off. In about 5 minutes, he'll come back, Dakos, and say that not with the food, but just to tell you that it is not an actual phoenix, no?
Good. What if yes, thank you so much.
But it is from a phoenix-like bird that is from the from the Feywild. That looks similar to a phoenix, but not actually a phoenix.
I wonder how they're getting all this meat. Some of it probably comes from the forest.
Imagine if they are serving bear, and we saw bear wandering from forest. Yes.
I mean, it could be from things killed in the city, except that we haven't seen guards kill things in the city.
Yes, there's been nothing in the city. And they get some meat from the prime, too. Thank you. See, weird.
Yeah. I will nod and head back to make the meals. It'll be about, some of the things that were chosen, the olive pie and the vegetables, the vegetable plate, that'll be a little quicker. The others will take a little bit longer to cook and be about 40, 45 minutes probably. But once you get it... Okay, that's it, Sammy. Okay. All right. Oof. Oh, man. Okay. It's okay. It's all right. Probably not the best of the best that you had, but it's satisfactory.
Well, I ate that and it's in my stomach.
Gwen will kind of look at you, Drexlin. So, Drexlin, obviously, I'm assuming here, but Dragonborn, correct?
Correct.
Where do you, hail from?
It's on my homework. Okay, go on with a tale. Oh God.
Well, somebody got busted for not doing their homework.
Yeah.
Do you, I'm just asking. I've known some Dragonborn in my life, and just curious. Did you grow up around your kind, or separate?
Yes, my in a clan, and my clan was Yurjatlat.
Yes.
Yer Jix Tilix.
Oh.
Easy for you to say.
Kazuntai.
Doesn't translate well.
Mm.
We all have axe-shaped jewels on our right brow, and he points to his brow.
Oh, okay. That kind of jewels. Got it.
Yes.
Yes. It is interesting. I know that the Dragonborn usually are pretty, they don't, they kind of keep to their own to their own peeps, Stephanie? To their own people. What brought you to this group?
Basically, my family is in somewhat, I don't want to say ill repute, but sort of on the outs a little bit with the clan.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
One of our ancestors was tasked with transporting a clan artifact, and it never arrived. Both he and the artifact went missing.
Oh.
So
Fascinating.
Sort of put a mark or a shadow on our family for losing such a valuable artifact. So when I became aware of this, our family was sort of like always on the outside, looking in on the clan, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
And I inquired about it, and I was told about what happened. So that's part of my wanderings of the world here, trying to track down and maybe get some honor back for the family.
Oh.
Interesting.
Sort of right the I don't even know if you would call it wrong, because he went missing. So some ill fate might have befallen him, or something else.
That story sounds so familiar. I believe that one of my friends might have been part of that clan, maybe?
That was around in these parts, or in the material plane?
No, on the material plane. Interesting.
Well, any information you have, I would greatly appreciate it.
I don't have any information, not that I can remember that they told me. Hold on a second. Let me just. I need to send
your homework.
I need to send.
Just kidding.
I need to send someone a message. Message sent in Zoom to who it was sent to.
Oh. Interesting. See who's got poker faces.
No, I His name was, Nixath. I believe. I believe that may have been... The story is very similar. It was a book of names, I believe. From his story. Maybe it's not the same. And you don't have to admit that it's the same. I always thought it was a very fascinating mystery.
In the sense that Nixa was looking for this book,
No.
or had this book.
My friend Nixith was part of the clan. Not that he had the book, but he was part of your people that lost it.
Ah.
Yes. And may have had a relative that was in the book.
You know who might be able to help you, Drexlin? Our benefactor. Yes, aren't they part of a historical such and such?
Oh, right.
This is Tepesh that's talking?
Yeah, this is Quinn. Oh, I hope you find it. Such a, very interesting piece of history shouldn't be lost forever.
Interesting that it might be this. Could it be? Well, I'll certainly make note of that. Thank you very much. That gives me at least a name.
Of course. Yes.
Almost, paladin. Last known whereabouts?
Oh, I was somewhere on the material plane.
That narrows it down.
Yes. Sorry, I spent some time, I think it was somewhere in Victa that I was, last saw this individual. There are quite a few dragonborn in Victa, I believe.
Interesting.
Well, again, good luck with that. If I hear of anything, I'll let you know. I'm not sure I will hear, but just in case.
That's more information than I had coming into this conversation, so.
And you've said that you're looking for this artifact here? Or is this a different artifact that you're looking for here?
Well, I'll look to the other, sort of like. As luck would have it, the artifact that our patron is asking us to look for is a book of names.
I don't know if it is same book with same names.
May not be the same book, but it's a coincidence that.
Interesting.
That it's a book of names.
Huh.
Those have names in it.
Well.
They thought that this would be a good place to look. We've inquired with Lara. She didn't seem to have any inkling or memory of such a book. She suggested we look in the library.
Yeah, she mostly only pays attention to more fantastical books than, non-fiction, I guess. She likes the stories.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. It's something that I admired about her.
Are you more of a history and knowledge kind of person, interested?
Oh, yes and no. I find history is good to know, but sometimes if you get dive too deep into it, I don't know. I feel like being so invested in a past of something or in a past of your own self that, or of someone else, that you're missing out on the present.
That's an interesting insight.
I guess I've just known a lot of historians and people who are just like my friends that are so engrossed in the past and in things of the past that, you know, I talk to them about world events and they're completely useless. They don't know. Not useless, but just. It's good to have a foot in the past, yes, but also to have a foot in the present.
Oh, I
Yes,
agree.
yes.
As the saying goes, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Mm.
And that is true. Or so I've heard. Well, wonderful drink, and he'll kind of like take a toast and
Mhm.
to our
Drink.
to our talking to the guards or whatever we're going to be doing at the estate later. May it go well.
May it go well.
Yes.
Can honestly say I'm
Actually, I
not.
do hope.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Takes another drink.
I do hope your treatment wasn't too difficult for you and your family. Being ostracized. Well, so it sounds, yes.
That was to you, Drexlin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was talking to her.
Oh, no.
Quinn, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, my bad. I was just saying, I do hope that your treatment wasn't too difficult for you and your family being ostracized.
It can be difficult, especially with Dragonborn. The clan unity is very tight. Everything is for the clan. So, to not be fully considered part of the clan is certainly may not seem important to outsiders, but to within the clan, it's noticeably important.
Do you hope that this is the same book? Hope that helps if we find it. Hopefully, benefactor will. Hopefully, that still works out for you, even if a benefactor requires the book.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. If that is the case, I would work very hard to get that book back to my clan.
Let me know if I can help.
I appreciate that.
Gwen takes another drink.
Quinn, seeing as this doesn't happen a lot, visitors and such,
Yes.
has there ever been an occasion where there has been official reporting of like this, where something has happened and there's an official report made, and has that ever happened before?
I don't think so, no. Most of the people, at least when I was here, almost goes without saying now, we didn't have visitors, so it was always someone here who lived in the demi-plane who would, maybe break a rule, or there wasn't that many. But no, this is new.
And seeing as things are, I'm sorry, Dakos, you had a thought?
Oh no, just the last bit of bird was a bit dry, and
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Carry on. Yes, it was back up and down with that. Anyway, please carry on.
I'm sorry.
Drexel slides some of his pork and cheese his way. Just if
And
you
we'll
didn't
give him a knock on the back.
Some cheese.
seeing it, I mean, we've got a sort of in a lower voice, gotten the impression that Lady Amick here really isn't in charge of the guards. Who does this report go to?
Oh, most likely, it'll be to the commander, which I believe is Stephanie. You moved
Is
it out
that
of the way.
Latora?
Yes. That is
No,
who's-
Latora's the captain,
right.
not captain of
Zognar.
that ship.
Zognar.
Zognar.
Zognar, I believe. Verduska, something like that.
I knew a
uh,
Zognar once. Delightful person.
Oh, this wasn't him then.
Oh, no, I'm sure this is not. This is.
He,
yeah.
I mean, I guess he is yeah. I mean, he's been, he might not be there anymore. I can't imagine that he's not there because he was placed there by her father, so.
You're fine. It's a common name in some places.
Sure. Well, yeah, that should be, it's probably who we'll talk to. Well, is there anything that y'all want to continue to do or do? It's probably been like, let's see, you got your food. If you're eating at a leisurely pace, probably like close to 2 hours now.
I just want to get this over and done with so we can continue on. So we can find out whether or not we have an enemy here, a true direct enemy.
So we can go to the forest.
Yes, well, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be cleared, and we'll know they're all right, or some of them, or we'll be found guilty and know that they are enemies.
I bet if we go back to the gate, they'd make us wait. This might be one of those games that people play sometimes where they're going to try and make us wait, and we should probably just try and make them come get us. You know, like one of those games where you're just the first one who blinks loses.
Oh.
Well, if we're going to be...
Or the first one who passes out loses. That's a game too.
So, what's that, Lev?
Well, if we're going to be waiting, I'd like to order an affogato before I pass out. Whichever happens.
That's nice.
Sure. The waiter will come back around, make sure your plates are cleaned up. If you need anything to go, they'll offer little like brown bags to like put any to go food in. Yeah, and we'll take any like extra like drink orders or anything as well. I'd say each of you just like take away like 1 gold for your stuff today.
Yeah.
Okay. Dinner was still, he's talking to the waiter. Dinner is
Yes.
delicious.
Oh, good.
Do you source everything locally?
Yes, either from the farms or from the forest.
Great, I love a local meal.
Yes, absolutely.
fresh.
Sometimes, if we don't have it here, as I said, the birds that the phoenix dish is made from, does come from the Feywild, but where we can, 90% of the food is local. Yes.
Compliments to the chef.
The forest animals, does somebody go into the forest and get them?
Yes, the guards of the estate.
Of course, they're
they
very
lying?
good. Sorry, Yava was going to say they're very good at that, and is thinking exactly what Dako's going to say.
Because they are not.
Okay. They believe
So
it.
they believe it.
Yeah. That's it.
Those guards sure are great.
Yes, they really are.
I do rather enjoy touring local farms and places that produce food like this. If you were to say, what would the two largest farms here in this land be?
Oh, well, the interesting thing is about the farms is that they are mostly equally spaced. Um,
Oh,
we don't really have one farm that takes up more room than the others. So they've kind of made sure of that when bestowing farms and when getting all that set up a few years ago. That's what I've
and
heard.
some. Oh, thank you. Yeah, sometimes, just sometimes, I consider myself to be a bit fanciful, and I do love things that are a bit unique or exquisite. Do any of these farms, and not that measure of material wealth is a bar for this, but sometimes it is. Are there any that seem to be just grand or much wealthier than others? I'd love to tour their facilities and see what advancements they have with such funds available. So
I mean,
DM, I'm
I
looking. Okay.
I don't really know myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm trying to source out that farm with the teleportation circles.
he
Paid
wouldn't.
big bank.
This person doesn't know. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
He's just a waiter.
Is your general manager?
They are
Just give
very
us the general
busy.
manager
They are very
of the
busy, sir.
There are some very smart, knowledgeable waiters who have like interesting things that they do in their spare time. I think this is just like a terrible thing to say about waiters.
Yes.
Was the food okay? Do I need anything else?
It was food. I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. Yes. And he kind of gives you like a second kind of like confused look, Dakos, as he like leaves the table. And
Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time with us.
he's already hurrying away.
That doesn't stop Yava.
Dakos, they must be new because when they sat us down, they asked us what we wanted without even giving us the menu yet.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Poor soul. And it's so busy in here. I'll make sure I tip them. They're fine. It's certainly not them. It's food. It's left a literal and figurative bad taste in my mouth. Yava, what do you have in mind? Should we head? Maybe we can go looking at farms. Ask around. Where are the fanciest farms? We'd like to go look, and then they'll come after us and bring us in. Well, we won't actually be doing anything wrong, but we'll.
Maybe as long as we don't go to that wasp and insect farm. I don't want to go there.
Yes, that is why. We don't need them trying to kill us on our sleep either.
If you see our friend the sheep farm that we.
Oh, perhaps they'll know. Yes.
Therapy?
I was Clefairy.
Clefairy.
It was something quite a bit like Clefairy. One moment,
I thought it was
please.
Theremin.
Clefairin. They changed their name after a little while. From Clarifin to something else.
Did you say it was paraffin?
Claritin.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's wonderful. Do you think we should go to them? And that way we can entice the guards to come get us. And we can ask them if we're not apprehended, escorted by then. If they know of the farm. And their food was quite delicious, comparatively. Push my plate away a little. Put my napkin on the plate. And I'm not even done. I'm just going to put my napkin on it.
Daco's part-time food critic.
Mm-hmm.
He has a regular article in the local
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Dining with Dakos.
Dining with
It's the
Dakos.
first thing I do anytime I go to a new city. Newspaper for the first. I love that.
Well, since we're near, perhaps, I don't know, thought, check in with the guards, see if they're ready for us, and if not, then put it on them. Like, all right, well, we're gonna go. There was a farmer we met early on. We're gonna go talk to them for a bit while we wait.
They'll know where we are.
Mm,
Didn't they have a tail on us?
I'm sure they do.
They do.
yes, yes. Oh,
I've been
perfect.
waving at them.
Lovely. Well, I feel like this meal is going to make me crop dust quite a bit, so that this will be perfect payback.
Wow.
Dust?
I've not heard that expression before. Is it a
I'm with you, yo. I have no idea what he's talking.
Oh, it's when you're letting gas out as you walk.
Oh.
It's pop, pop,
Oh.
pop, pop. You're just spreading it out evenly with each step.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're
Yeah.
Yes, Dan.
Okay. All right. So y'all are leaving the restaurant.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
So y'all.
Dakos. Drexler make sure he's in the lead in front of Dakos.
Okay.
Amazing.
All right. Quinn is leaving with you, of course. And as you step out, that's where a couple of guards will kind of step up to you.
No.
Oh,
passing
hello,
duty.
hello.
Are you done with your meal?
Yes. Usually
Yes,
when you
that's
leave.
why we left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Just yeah.
All right. We are ready for you at the estate for your presentation of the facts.
Oh, good. I like facts.
A couple more guards kind of come from around the corner and kind of walk behind you, and they will start escorting you. Do you?
Oh, look, the Dakos like
I
man.
just wink.
Yeah. They're in for a treat.
Do any of you not comply with the escort? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay, they will take you from the market into a boat. There will be a couple people waiting for a couple of the boats at the canal, but for one of the boat taxis, but they will kind of just nod at one of the boats, and they will immediately let y'all through, and onto one of the bigger boats there at the dock closest. They will take you directly up one of the main waterways up towards the estate. You actually haven't taken this waterway before, and it seems restricted, as there are guards at either they're at the very edge of the docks. There are little gates that they raise. And this seems to go under a very interesting, tiered bridge. You have a waterway underneath it, and there seems to be a large bridge that goes up about, probably like 100 feet into the air. That seems to go directly from the farmlands directly to the estate, and just kind of goes above this waterway. But you're on the bottom. You kind of weave through some pillars. Again, there's no one else here. You'll see a couple of boats to the side with some guards in them, but that's it. Taking you directly to the estate. Parking there, they take you inside, and let's see here. Okay. Bring up the thing here. You'll go directly past those two huge stone throne, where the festival was before. Take you right past those into the estate. And we'll take you through a little entryway. And then through this. Okay. Make a perception check.
Oh, nice.
Dakos.
Oh, wait. 24.
Okay. You do not see any crocodiles.
We're clear.
Um,
No giant crocodiles yet.
So this whole procession has taken getting into the entryway and into this like huge reception hall with not really portraits, but just different paintings hanging up. Dacos, make a perception check. Another fresh perception check, please.
It's a 21.
Um,
Nope, that's a... No, it is a 21.
Okay. Ooh, roller coaster. As you're looking at these paintings, Dago, some of the landscapes that are in the paintings looks very much like the Feywild. We'll take you through here. There's a few statues as well in this area. It just seems to be a room that connects other rooms as you see other doorways, but they're taking you towards the first door, double doors to your left that are open. But as I said, this whole procession coming from the restaurant to here would probably take about, I would say like a half, like 20 minutes, 25. Is there anything anyone wanted to do while you were walking? The guards are completely silent, other than just directing you like this way. Okay. Just want to make sure. Take you in. So you go through this reception hall, make that first left into this beautiful pair of arched double doors that are slightly open. The guard will kind of push it up a little bit further, and you walk into what seems to be, if anyone has ever read anything, or I don't think many of you have been to like a courtroom. Oh, not a courtroom, but like a throne room, I mean. This seems to be just a very large, vast room with two thrones at the very far end, or at least it seems that way, or very large chairs, draped with some cloth. And there are some open and closed crates that seem to be shoved up against either wall as you walk into this room. Also above, there are all of these, like, it's almost like open to stars. Yvonne, could you make in fact, everyone, could you make a perception check for me? Dacos, if you want to go by the one that you just rolled for the room prior, I'll allow you to do that since this would be your third one.
Thanks.
Drexlin, what did you roll for perception?
19.
Okay. And Giovanni?
After luck and a reroll, it's still only an 11.
Okay. Joe?
Yo has... It's not letting me roll on this for some reason.
Oh, no. Okay. Lev, what did you roll for perception?
17.
Okay. What was yours again, Drexlin?
19.
Okay. All right.
Hello. There's echo.
Yeah, there's definitely an echo. This room definitely looks unused.
Okay.
And like it's been unused for a while.
Can you imagine cleaning this whole place? Oh. What a nightmare. Are we just waiting around like this?
We'll say that this is waiting. I'm just waiting for Yo's roll.
Oh, right. I'll just fuck around.
I think Katie has my dice and it's not letting me roll them online.
Okay, did you want me to roll for you, Yo?
If you want to give it a quick roll and just add +7, I'm going to try to get my dice.
Okay, sure.
Oh, okay, neat.
Okay, so it was a 13 for Joe. So he doesn't see much anyways. Yeah, y'all are walking into the room and you're walking towards a figure. Everyone except Giovanni and Gio would notice there seem to be about 6 guards in this room. 2 towards the where you enter, 2 standing in the middle, and 2 standing at the far end of the room. But then you also have another figure you're walking towards, this big burly figure, large, very large stature, who has 2 guards beside them. Again, everyone except Giovanni and Gio would notice 2 of the guards as the 2 guards standing on either side of him as the 2 of the guards that came to the inn to interrogate you. So 2 of the guards, the only one that's not there is the masked one. But the other 2 that were there interrogating you at the inn are standing on either side of this large statured individual at the, like, right there in front of the thrones that are covered. You would also notice that as you're kind of stepping in and looking around, that the looking back towards the doors you came through, above that is a very large relief of a raven in stone. And also you would notice that amongst the crates, a little detail is that there's a little spot where there are some pillows, along with a decanter and like a couple of stacks of books, as well as a candle and a candle holder, kind of hidden away. Giovanni, you didn't notice all of that, but you would notice that looking up at this kind of open skylight almost, which is weird, strange, because it's daytime outside and you can see the night sky, and it seems to be like an active night sky in that you can see a little movement, a little bit of twinkling. It doesn't,
so, as opposed to what the plane actually has.
Correct.
Which is a very okay.
Yeah. So it definitely looks not like this demi-plane's night sky. Looks like a different one. Let me see if I. And it doesn't look like the night sky of that you know either from the material plane.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Oh, no worries, Alec. Yeah. You're stepping in here. The guards bringing you in kind of break off. Some leaving. So basically, you're in a room with roughly 8 guards total, including the 2, and then the big burly guy. As you're walking towards them, the one kind of has this white beard with these gold beads, and dressed in greens and browns, kind of crosses his arms. All right. I am Zognar Verdosk.
Oh boy.
I'm the commander of the guard here. In Amikir. So, I heard that you had a little kerfuffle earlier with the guards. With Calvary, who was one of my second lieutenant, and also a few of the others.
That's a kerfuffle.
Yes.
Assassination attempt.
My compatriots here have filled me in a bit to what they questioned.
Yeah, good.
What did you see Giovanni just captivated by the open skylight and the night sky.
Quick
Yes.
Are any of the guards that attacked us here in the room?
Oh. Make a perception check.
I can't give it. I'm not a bard. Like, I want to inspire you.
17. I appreciate it.
You do not recognize. I mean, other than the 2 that's standing beside Zognar, you do not recognize any of the other guards. Yeah. So, what, if you wouldn't mind just going through what happened with as much information as she remembered. That way we have all the facts. We'll be taking some notes here. One of the guards that talked to you earlier will be starting to take notes. I know that you've already told them what happened, but I just need to hear it from your mouths into my own ears, as I don't like middlemen. So if you wouldn't mind.
I'll let Drexen is much better with details as a man of the law. But I do just want to say that when we were speaking with your gods earlier, and to the point of hearing facts and details, the guards that we intentionally simply knocked out, we had spoken to them about being able to put them in a zone of, in some sort of spell to, as we're willing to do ourselves, to speak the truth.
They've let me know, yeah.
But okay, I just don't see them here. And I've
no, they are still recovering. So I want to hear the story from you.
Right, the gods, yes. I'm sure they'll mutter off like they take all day to fucking recover.
Well, my part's easy. Calvary stabbed me, and then I got stuck behind a door.
Got it. You'll see as y'all talk about anything, you'll see one of the guards taking notes. So wait. Let me. So Calvary stabbed you. How did that
happen? In my sleep.
You were sleeping, right?
In the inn.
Okay. And she stabbed you.
While I was sleeping.
Gotcha. I'm listening to you. You've said it a couple. I understand. I'm just wondering if there's anything else than just she stabbed you in your sleep.
It was pretty straightforward.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to go first to get it out of the way.
I just wanted to make sure that we weren't missing anything. Okay. You got it.
Make sure you write down that I was sleeping.
Yes, I'm sure that you got it. He's very good at taking notes. Yes, you. Looking at you, Drexlen.
Yeah. Drexlen will straighten up and actually straighten out his armor as best he can and sort of presents himself. My colleagues and companions had settled in for the evening in our rooms. I was about in the midst of just falling off to sleep when I heard telltale signs of scratching and someone trying to muss with the lock and pick the lock in my room. I kicked the door open to surprise whoever it was, and that was successful. I surprised what it turned out to be a guard trying to pick the lock of my room, and upon which they fell back, and I offered them a chance to yield and explain themselves, to which I was spat in the face. So I successfully dispatched them non-lethally and turned to see Lev coming out of his room, wounded, followed by Kelray. And then Dakos came out of his room, also being followed by a guard who came out of his room. At which point, I announced to them, what is the purpose of this? What are we being charged with, and who is charging us? Which I have no response from Kelray, simply that she muttered something like, "You're mine."
Yes, that was it.
So a scuffle ensued. We tried, at least to the best of mine and others' abilities. I think the fact that the four or five guards, 5 guards, I think.
5, I think.
Yeah, were successfully able to restrain, incapacitate them. Unfortunately, during battle, was knocked unconscious. One of my companions uh, got me back on my feet, and the ensuing remainder of the fight, I was off against Kelray, and in the process of trying to fight her, I landed a killing blow.
In the process of trying to stay alive, Drexler, you were fighting for your life, as we all were.
As we all were.
Even
In the
I.
after.
Oh, please
Oh
go.
yes,
No.
all of us were fighting for our lives.
I
mean,
asked them
guards.
to stop.
Yeah, guards were coming in through windows. And in the aftermath, after we subdued the remaining guards, again, not harming them any further, we rushed to Quinn's room, who happened to be staying at the inn at the same time, and found, and I will produce the note and the dagger. We found this over his head.
Kind of nod to one of the guards standing beside to look at
I'll
it.
hand it to him.
Okay.
Please see, this is entered into evidence
I might just add that we have not tried to run. We have not tried to escape anything. We've just come here to state our case, and again wondered why we were, in our minds, attacked.
In fact, Yava here alerted the guards that this had taken place. I myself asked at least two of the guards to cease, to which they did not wish to. It was one or two, I can't remember, but whatever the number was. Also having a guard sneak into my room, clearly with ill intent as the others, weapon drawn. And here we are on this. Of course, anyone else has anything to offer. That's my part, anyway.
Got it. Anyone else have anything to add?
Quinn, you should probably tell your story.
Yes. The guard will, Zagnar will nod at Quinn. It's good to see you are well, Quinn. Glad to see the other plane is treating you okay. Like, yeah. Well, I was sleeping. May I ask, what drew you to these people? Little strange to see you not in your demiplane, not in your own place. What brought you here, and what brought you to them, to these strangers? You want to tell me that? Yeah, sure. right after the festival of balance, I came down. They were there. They had helped. I got to talking to them. They were, asking some questions. I answered what I could, and then decided to not, just kind of stay and chat until the next, collision. Are you saying that you expect another collision? Another appearance? Well, it's happened, that was the fourth time? I'm just assuming that it'll show up again and I can just, go up. Or also I have my, I guess he stayed outside. I have Carl, my mage, that can teleportation circle me back up where I need to go. Kind of forget about Carl. Man, that's Quinn saying that. So I just been talking with these people, helping them. But yeah, I was sleeping the other night, and woke up. Well, they woke me up because they gave me some sleeping powder, I think. They did. No.
I had to dispel magic to wake you up.
Yes. No, the guards apparently gave me sleeping powder. And how do you know that it wasn't them that gave you sleeping powder? I guess I don't. But I don't think that they would.
Ooh, Drexlin, Zone of Truth time, right?
Yeah, we could certainly testify to that.
Right, you can also check the handwriting of your gods.
Lady Lyra does not like a lot of magic, so we won't be doing that. We go by word here.
Can you just clarify, doesn't like magic or doesn't like truth? I just want to understand which one.
Oh, she likes truth.
Oh,
I like
that's good to
truth.
know. Oh, good.
And you can find truth without magic. And if you can't, then what good are we? Right?
Let's find out.
I don't understand that at all.
Mm.
You have a very nice ceiling, by the way. I really like it.
Yes, it was a gift.
Somebody gave that to you?
Oh, gave it to Lyra, their father. Had it built especially for the throne room. So,
remember to breathe, Yavo.
I am confused here. Do you mind if I ask a few questions as well? I just wish to understand this process better.
Sure. Doesn't mean I have to answer them since you're in our place, but you can ask. Sure.
I understand. I assume, though, that, you wish to get to the bottom of this as accurately as possible, yes?
That's why I'm asking for your testimony. Yeah.
You say you go on word here, not magic.
This is true.
But you also do not trust our word.
This is true.
So, forgive me for being brusque here, but what the fuck are we supposed to do then? We tell you what happened, you say you do not believe it, and then what? We cannot prove it to you?
But to be fair, I haven't said that I don't believe you, what you're saying. You're just assuming.
We are offering you opportunity to prove it. This is not some strange arcane spell our friend is weaving here. This is holy ability he has been granted by his order. This is a quest for truth that he wishes to undertake every bit as much as you do.
And just because it was given to him by his deity doesn't mean that we recognize that deity.
I feel like it is missing point of what I am saying. I am not trying, I promise you, I am not trying to be prickly like porcupine. I know that is how I come off much of the time, but there are many options here we are providing to you that you are choosing not to use in search for truth.
Because we don't want to rely on magic.
Very well. Do you rely on your ability to discern truth from lie?
I do, yeah.
And do you feel right now as if I am lying to you when I say these fuckers tried to kill us in our sleep and stabbed my friend without warning?
In my sleep.
I believe there is some truth there, yes. And I didn't say it otherwise. That was an assumption. So Lieutenant Calvary did come and talk to me before. Concerned about you being new people to the plane. Concerned about things that were happening after you came. Concerned about it being related. I told her to wait for officials to investigate, to ask, to look, and Callery did take it into her own hands. I will admit to that. And it wasn't...
I told you that's... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She shouldn't have done it. Okay? That was wrong of her. She should have waited. And she didn't. And she followed her own hot-headedness than what needed to be done. So.
Where I come from, do you know what we call people whose hot-headedness leads them to attack others in their sleep?
What do you call them?
We call them criminals. And
Well,
we arrest them.
She is dead, so there's really no arresting to be done.
But you are talking about this as if it is she made an error of judgment. This is not a small thing. This is not she was tired and did not understand what she is doing. That was premeditated.
Oh no,
murder.
she
That's
understood.
Not something you decide to do on a whim.
She understood what she was doing. Absolutely. But again, she is dead. There's no sense of us going on about that.
But making it right with us.
Zogner, can I just say something? And
Sure.
I apologize if this seems insincere, but I assure you it's not.
Sure. Go ahead.
We didn't get. I mean, obviously we didn't get along with her.
That was obvious, according to what she said.
For myself, I am sad that she is dead.
I appreciate
Just because I disagreed with her, and I certainly don't agree with what she did, but we didn't come here looking to kill people. We didn't even come here looking to kill people that we thought were corrupt or wrong. We're just trying to be good people, and we didn't understand what was happening. And I am very sorry that this has turned out this way. And if you don't believe that, then I guess I understand that, but I guess that I'm sorry. I guess that's all I wanted to say.
I believe you. I do, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for it. It is a loss. Even though she was hot-headed, Calvary was very protective of this plane, as are most of us. Right? We've been here this whole time. I'm sure this isn't the first time, and it won't be the last time that you'll hear you are newcomers. So, expect people to suspect you.
No problem with that.
So, I admit that what Lieutenant Cadre did wasn't the best and was wrong. Sure. The other guards were acting for her, following her orders, because she was above them. So I am not punishing them.
Might I ask what you're doing to take responsibility, being above her and them?
It wasn't my claim. I have no responsibility to take. A life is down. That's punishment enough for my troops that we lost Cadre.
You're not concerned that those guards might follow another of your seconds or someone else like this? Is this do they have immunity? This is terrible. This is.
Sorry, it's Stephanie laughing.
I mean, at least some training, if not.
They already have training? What kind of training do you mean?
To not follow zealots and kill people in their sleep blindly on the orders of...
I'll talk to the men and the women, and, well, I'll talk to everyone. So, I guess that I just want to make it clear that I hope that you're not planning to stay here for a long time.
You know, initially, I wish to just find this artifact and leave, and get big payday, and go back and spend all of the money on many beers and buying nice things for many nice friends. Now, though, I think I've taken a liking to the climate of this place. I think there are things here that are very appealing to me. Personally, I've always been one who does not do well in places where everything is okay. I like a little topsy-turvy nature. You know what I mean? A little bit of excitement. I don't like causing the excitement myself. That is behind me by many years. But finding those who are disturbing things and hot-headed bad apples, as you have put it, that is something that is very entertaining. And I get the sense she may not have been the only one. We will find out, I suppose, if anybody else tries to kill us in our sleep. And those people will likely end up exactly as she did.
Zagnar will take a quick look around and will give a nod past all of you. Two guards will kind of head out of the room. You can't see where they go. And
2 chairs.
you see 2 more guards come back in after a minute or a few seconds and join them. So you have 2 extra guards in the room now. Zagnar will step forward after another nod to the group, about 5 feet breadth in between him and you. Let me make myself a bit more clear. You won't be staying long, okay? Don't let your business keep you too much longer here in the city. In fact, I would strongly advise to start wrapping things up and get back to where you belong, which is off of this demi plane. If I find that if you find yourself in this situation again, talking to me like this, it won't be as pleasant. And if I find out that you've been staying about, it won't be as pleasant. Do I make myself clear? Or do I need to talk more?
I think we all understand where we stand
here. Yava takes out his book and starts writing things in it, writing down what he's being told.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Bet you Dakos' senses just went off.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
It has been. That ceiling is just so nice.
I'll give another nod past your heads, and you'll feel 2 guards on either side of your group kind of rush up. Now, are you gonna leave quietly? Or do we need to show you what our true hospitality is?
I'm ready to crop dust, so.
You're not going to let me ask any questions about the ceiling, are you? Okay. Well, I'm sad, but okay.
Zagnar will look at Gwen, who's kind of looking very astonished. I take it you'll be heading back to your demi-plane soon? Yeah, I probably should. Good. Nice seeing you. And the guards will kind of get in between. There'll be 2 kind of get in between you and Zagnar, and will start kind of escorting you towards the door and back out towards the reception. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Zagnar, about Calorie. Is the reason why you won't bring her back because Lyra is not a fan of magic?
Yeah.
Do you know that you can bring her back, right?
Sure.
Is Zognar lying?
I'll let you know what. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just Drexler just gonna this whole anti-magic thing has me confused.
Sumner would just like. You have a minute before we'll make
Certainly.
you. We'll put you in another place that you won't be able to leave. Go ahead, speak it out.
If she's so against magic, why is there a second demi-plane hanging over this city?
Yes,
Because
there's
the-
no magic demiplane.
Because there needs to be.
Ah,
Is he lying?
And if we want to raise her back, we will. Looking at you, love. But that's none of your business. All right, go.
Love to
Guard.
sneak a peek at the titles of the books on his way out.
Okay.
Nice, nice.
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna make note of bay locations too. And that skips.
He's gonna use is it the lucky feat? Luck? I forget what it's called exactly.
Okay.
Or wait, hang on. Do I have that? I thought I did. Lucky, there it is. Reroll. Nine.
Okay. I'll say that you see a couple, you're able to catch just as you're quickly kind of being ushered out, couple book titles. One is A Prey in the Dark, Prey. And the other one is The Salt of the Earth. Okay. All right. And as they usher you out, that's where we'll take our bio break. So for those
Nice.
watching, we take a 10-minute bio break. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right. See you in a bit. Mics are hot. Because we are.
As soon as we get out the door, Yava's so mad at the rest of the party for stealing all of his starry sky asking question time.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about that. Now you know what? I'm sure we'll be back.
We're at the Be Right Back screen already. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Thank you, boss.
I love it.
Thank you.
We're at the Be Right Back screen.
So I think that throughout that last scene, Giovanni was lying on the ground in the middle of the trial, just staring at the sky, pointing at all the stars and counting them and trying to figure out what was going on. It seemed like he was ignoring the trial, but really, he was listening to everything. Because that's what Giovanni does. He tunnels in on one thing and does it, but he's still aware of his surroundings, usually. Giovanni also thinks the sky was in fact the night sky of the Feywild, and he was trying to map groupings of stars that he could see in the night sky that he knew did not exist anywhere he had ever been in the world. Not that he'd seen the full night sky, because he hasn't traveled far enough south, perhaps. But he knew enough to know it wasn't his, and he was trying to map groupings of stars to groupings of stars that Giovanni knew from the material plane. So as he's lying on his back during the trial, pointing at the sky, looking like he's at home, like he's lying on some grassy hill in the middle of the night, when he's in fact on trial. About 90% of his brain is focused on star patterns and trying to figure out what the night sky actually is.
Wow.
Giovanni had great fun.
Oh, I bet. I didn't hear all of what you said, but I bet.
Yeah, I was saying Giovanni was mostly lying on his back for the trial, so he could better look at the sky or the ceiling.
You've done a lot of star. Well, I'll do this when we come back. Okay.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. I'll probably have you roll to see if you recognize, maybe.
I'll tell you what I said during the break is that because I know I didn't recognize any of the star patterns, he was trying to figure out maybe it's the night sky of the Feywild, and he was trying to map maybe that constellation is the constellation I know from a different angle, or it's something like that. He was just running all sorts of exotic theories through his mind that had very little to do with being on trial.
Of course. Dan, I sent you a response. In case you didn't see it. What was I going to do? No. Right. Oh, right. Where would they go for that? Take you to oh. Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't be it. That's kind of cute. Oh, right.
Thank you, Steph.
Uh-huh.
I sent a thing back just with the things I had in mind in response to that to ask you, but there's zero like.
I'll take care of it now.
Okay. You just see how much. There's a song I get stuck in my head sometimes. It's called "Alone in the Dark," and it played on the True Lies soundtrack with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think was in it, and
what's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Thank
Curtis.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hey,
And I love that song. It's a funny movie. I remember watching it at the time. It's definitely a funny movie. We did the waltz with Portland Cabeza after getting out of the scuba gear. It was really fun. There were some moments that were just really, really exciting.
Responded.
That song, I had to look it up. Oh, thank you. Because I love it. It's still, I played it for like the next 6 months, burned it onto a CD just to date myself a little bit. And yes, I also recorded things with the play record and and cassettes and stuff before that too. So
hey, struggle was real, man. You had to sit down and time out your cassettes.
You did. I had to do that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you were getting anything from the radio, you had to try and get the perfect moment when the DJ shut up and the music kicked in.
Yep. That's mostly like
how long it took.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to buy like cassette tapes or CDs, so that's mostly how I would like get music that I liked off of the radio was recording cassette tapes.
With the mixtapes.
Correct.
Yep.
Well,
need you a mixtape.
I didn't.
Bartman on it.
I didn't have anyone to make mixtapes for, so no.
Oh.
Except my best friend. I guess I made a couple mixtapes for my best friend, but that was like CDs. I mean, here's some mixed CDs.
Guy I knew way back when had a great funny technique for making mixtapes.
Oh.
In between songs, he would intersperse sound clips from like Speed Racer episodes. So in between, like every song, you'd get like a line or two from Speed Racer.
Response, Dan.
I love that. Thank you. Okay.
guess maybe there's a couple more minutes. There is what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I still hear the squeak of little cassette tapes on it.
Oh yeah.
Using a pencil to manually
Correct.
rewind them.
Correct, Dan. That's correct, Dan. That's correct.
Oh,
About what
you were like really hyped.
I know.
I'm like, that's right, Steph. That is correct.
It's correct.
That's right.
I'm gonna be my affirmative to things. Correct. All right. Alrighty. Okay. Let's get back into it. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope. I did it wrong. Now we're back.
Early or late?
No, we're late.
I believe in you, stuff.
We're good. We're good. If you watched Madden at Game Time today, I don't think that you would, Warren. All right. So, welcome back, viewers. Welcome back, players. I tell you, yeah. Yeah. Heavenly Bodies. Play it if you want to just be stressed, anxious.
Fun, frustration, yeah.
All right. So, let's start back here. I'm gonna say that before, so you got that because you mentioned that you're going to take a look at the portraits in the hallway as you pass to see if you recognized anything, like specifically. I will say that before, right as the guards are like leading you around the corner, oh, wait a minute. I didn't see the second part of this. Yeah. Just as you're about taking around the corner, Quinn will be like, Zilgar, what, and you'll see Zilgar just like stop where he's at and just like let out this audible sigh. Do you mind if seeing as how I know that I know Lord Calum, yes. I just wondering if I could talk to speak to Lyra while I'm here in the palace, in the estate. And you'll see him just kind of pause and look over to one of the guards that are still there. And the guard will nod and kind of like come over to the group. Zonar said that you could. You can go alone, or you can take 2 with you, but the others have to stay here with the guards. That's it's doable. Sure. Kind of looks to the rest of the group. Anyone want to see Laura?
When you say stay here with the guards, do you mean we can look at the ceiling still?
From the doorway, the guard says.
Okay.
Right. Well, Yvonne's staying. This is Quinn. Anyone want to go with me to talk to? It'll probably be chaperoned. I'll let you know with the guards and all. I don't think they quite trust me, it seems.
I would like to go, and I think anyone else interested?
See if anyone else wants to go. Oh, sorry, what's that?
I was simply saying I also.
Oh, yeah, if Yo wants to go, we can only bring 2, right? So
I can only take 2 people with me.
In that case, it is okay.
Okay.
You have no pressing me.
Yo, I would love to stay here with Giovanni and talk about what he's seen. Please carry on.
Okay. So Joe and Drexlin, right? Okay. Yes. Yeah, we're ready to see. We're ready to see Lady Lyra Amakir. Yes. Talking to the guard. Like, okay. Just follow me. We'll take you to the music room. And we'll kind of make a left and go deeper down in that reception hall that had the paintings and things in it. Go deeper down there all the way to the end where there's another doorway that leads that you will knock and open. And there you will see Lady Lyra standing with the person you saw outside.
But naked.
Morwerin. No, they are clothed. The room you step into is filled with musical instruments. Joe and Drexlin, make a perception check for me, please. What did you get, Drexlin?
Luck's run out. 5.
Okay, and Joe?
I'm getting dice.
Okay.
That's a little better than 5. Let's say 19.
Okay. Joe, you would notice, along with the instruments, there's this beautiful music box sitting on this kind of small table right in the center of the room. It's open, has a dancer in it, but it's very intricate with all kinds of different jewels and things. Lyra kind of looks surprised at the guard and, right. Looks at Quinn, and you can see her expression kind of flicker between anger and, warmth. Kind of looks at Morwerin. Mirren, would you mind? Oh, of course not, Lyra. And we'll kind of turn and wink at Quinn before stepping past the guards and out into the hallway.
Such a winker.
Quinn will take a step forward to go further into the room beyond just inside the doorway, and the guard will put out his hand. You're to stay here.
Oh.
Of course. Lyra, you look like that you're doing well. Again, I just wanted to apologize for the disruption yesterday at the festival. I believe that that's your friend, right? That you've talked about before? Morwerin, right? Mirren? How do you know his name? Well, I heard the guard say it, and I remember you talking about him. So, right. Can I help you? Do you need something before you go back? I was just wanting to check in. So, glad to see you still have your parents' music box. Yes, I do. Great. I believe that you've met Drexlin and Jill here? Her eyes will kind of flicker over to you, Drexlin.
Slight bow.
I met them briefly, yes. I don't know why you're with them. Just friends, Lyra. Okay. Quinn will look over to you, Drexlin and Jill, and unless there's anything that you both have to ask. And there is a guard still standing right beside you. And you know that there are 2 guards out in the hallway.
Thing is, it's a little. I'll let Joe go first.
That is what I was worried about.
If you don't, okay, go ahead.
No, you seriously go ahead. Yo is out of his element here. He is not
Okay.
delicate person. I think we'll probably let Drexlin take the lead.
All right. I hope all is well with you, Lady Amikir, after the excitement of last night.
Yes, it is.
Have the crocodiles found a home?
Yes, I believe that they were released back out to the wild or are planning to.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had mentioned something of a menagerie that you had.
I don't keep animals there for very long. There are some residents there, but not like a large crocodile. Jackson, make a perception check, please.
Okay. 14.
Okay. It's enough to, recognize the same air look that you noticed the night before. Very kind of, almost like a rabbit about ready to be, very kind of scared and jumpy and, not jumpy, but, high alert. And, eyes will, as she's talking to you, won't really look at you that long and just kind of, look off to the side. It's a lovely dance.
It was indeed.
Sure you and Quinn have a lot in common? Talked?
A bit, yes.
Kind of looks at Quinn. Yeah, we've had some conversations. Lyra will look at you again, Drexlin, and Joe. Do you plan on leaving soon? Will your stay be short?
We have been instructed to do so.
Oh. By who?
The commander of the guard.
Indeed.
There was an unfortunate incident at our tavern inn last night.
She'll kind of take a few steps forward and place your hands on the music box. It's in between you. And Zagnar asked you to not be here very long?
Yes. Go ahead, Joe.
Asked is perhaps not the exact word I would use.
The guard beside you, the 3 of you. I believe you have something on your schedule, correct? You don't want to keep Lord Mirren waiting? Oh, you're probably right. She'll kind of take your hands off the music box and just kind of rub them against your pants. It's been a pleasure.
Before you leave, that is a beautiful work of artifice. Where did you get that?
From my father. He got it from my mother before she disappeared.
Does it play a tune?
Yes, but I believe the guard's right. I should probably not keep Mirren waiting.
All right, before we leave, before we get escorted out by the guard.
Sure.
I will reach out with Sonic Mind to Lara.
Okay.
Don't be alarmed, it's me.
So you're just kind of like momentarily like pause in what she's doing.
I believe I share the same fears that you do. All is not well here. If you need anything, do not hesitate.
So you're just kind of unfreeze and almost breathe again. Nod, look at you, Draxlin, and look at the rest. It's been a pleasure.
It certainly has.
Hopefully you have a good day. And we'll smile
Same
at all of you. And just kind of look at Quinn. I guess you'll be going back to your demi-plane soon. Unless you demother Wyatt. No, I think that's probably for the best. Okay, yes. And Lara will nod and kind of step past. Quinn will just kind of step aside, allowing her to get through the door with her guards and out to the hallway. And the other guard will escort the three of you immediately from the room, closing the door and rejoining the others to continue your escortation out. While that was happening, was there anything happening back at while y'all were waiting? The guards would have just kind of kept you there at the door, not allowing you to go further into the throne room than the doorway, but you would have been allowed to kind of look around the reception area where the paintings and everything are.
Levin Dacos, how exciting do you find a running monologue on the star theories of intersecting planes?
If I'm in the mood.
Well, you're getting it anyways.
Oh, all right then.
Yava is lying on the floor in the doorway, just talking a mind spew about planes and stars.
It's amazing.
Anyone looking back into the throne room would see that Zagnar and the other two guards that were with him have left. There were still guards there in the throne room, of course, kind of standing. Watch.
Unless you're staring at the ceiling.
Right. You wouldn't notice that, right, if you were staring at the ceiling. All right. Yvonne, make I'm going to allow you to either make a history or an intelligence check, please.
I am not rolling well tonight. 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the stars, they feel like something that you maybe have studied before in a book, like the patterns and everything, but it's something that you just can't recall right now.
I think Yava will actually draw some of the constellations into the book.
Okay.
That they were given in the first episode.
Okay, awesome. Dacos, is there anything that you want to be doing while waiting?
No, if those landscape things aren't in sight here, then
they are.
Just gonna
they are.
You're
in the room with all the paintings, and they would allow you to look around in the reception room there.
Okay. Yeah, outside of listening to Yava, I'll just check to see if any of those are any that I might recognize specifically.
Make a history check, please.
History is not super great. That's a 7.
Okay. I'd say it's a little difficult since, they look Fae-like, but, I would say that you do recognize one that looks very similar to the landscape of New Sharandar.
Mm-hmm.
And another that's very similar to landscape you would find in Carador.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Lev has just been trying out all the chairs and slightly repositioning them in the lobby.
Great. Great. All right. So,
Yava likes love.
and so you'll see after a few minutes, you'll see a couple of guards bring Quinn, Drexlin, and Jill back to the group, and will escort you out of the building. And just kind of, will disperse mostly once they get you outside and onto kind of like where the fair was taking place the night before, in that kind of like blank area that's concrete and cobblestone. Well, not concrete, but cobblestone, probably in stone. And there's still guards around, like, probably like 6, but the part that the people that were escorting you kind of go back into the estate. And you're left outside. Quinn's just like, what? That was weird.
How so?
Go ahead.
How so?
I mean, the entire situation was weird, right? I don't even know where to start, honestly. You didn't find anything in there peculiar, Giovanni?
Well, I wondered if they weren't using magic because of the magic of keeping the demi-plane alive, but...
Oh,
I'm sorry, did I miss something more obvious than that?
Lyra, as always, of course, she'll use magic if she has to, and some things require magic, like the demi-plane, but she's always not been that big of a fan. Bad experience as a kid, I think. In fact, I think that I've heard that the trade school, used to be a magic school, a school of magic, but she turned it into a trade school of sorts. So, as far as what they were saying about that being the reason they didn't want to use Joan's Stone of Truth, I don't know.
Seems very suspect considering other people here use magic for their purposes. We have seen it.
Something is rotten. Just don't know what yet. I'll turn to Quinn. I did convey to Lara that at least I, and I would assume you, share a fear for her safety.
I don't know, Drexlin.
She's certainly afraid of something.
Yes, she certainly seems on edge, for certain. That's so strange.
Perhaps we should talk somewhere not here.
Oh, of course. Where would you like to go? Back to the inn, or to a tavern, or
forest?
I don't know if the forest is a safe place to talk.
I don't think the forest is safe. That is part of why we wish to go there.
Just in terms of being randomly attacked, or it's...
Oh, from the rumors I've heard, animals, there's guards always guarding the forest. So it's even a thing about getting in.
Seeing as it's their private hunting grounds, I would guess.
And and then there's not that I believe the witch rumor or the strange magic, but those are the rumors that I've heard since moving out of the demi-plane.
Well, perhaps we should just find a safe place in town where we can speak freely.
Sure. We might be able to find a smaller place that I might be able to convince to, with some coin, to, give us some room, give us some space. Let me see here. I know of a little tavern in town. Pull up a map. Let's see. Where could he take you? Oh, yes. I know of a little tavern on the second ring out that if you want to go over there, that we could, I think it's small enough I could probably convince them, and I know the owners from before. So if it's the same people, they should be able to let us in.
Well, I hear nobody leaves, so it's probably the same people.
Probably, unless they died. So let's go. And so he will take you to a it's kind of on, you'll have probably a good like another 25-minute travel time to get there. And the place is called the Unique Sheep. And it's a very small little tavern.
Were we followed?
Make a perception check.
I'm 100% checking with them with my cloak that sees everything invisible and 120 feet out. Everything. And all the
20.
visions.
20. Anyone else want to roll perception check about being followed?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm using my cloak, sees in all directions.
Oh, okay, got you. How far does it see
visibility.
again, Dan?
It's 120 feet of dark vision into the ethereal plane and in every direction.
Okay.
So use I haven't actually used this ability before on this character.
Sorry.
I have Eyes of Night as a Twilight Cleric, so I can grant dark vision for an hour to, I think, all of us. 4 willing creatures, so everyone who doesn't already have it.
Okay.
I don't have dark vision. Yeah.
Ooh.
Now have dark vision. I also have dark vision.
I will say before you use that or mark that off, it's not dark outside.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Not yet. No.
I'm getting ready for it.
No. Where are y'all at in the day? Let's see. You've done that.
We had lunch.
You woke up.
Lunch, then the trial.
You woke up really early. So yeah, it's probably just like evening time. So not quite fully dark yet. Yeah. So if you want to save that. Yeah.
I'll save it.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else roll for perception that I didn't get?
I rolled a 16.
16 Dacos.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Did you roll, Lev? Did you roll, Lev?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I thought you said that, and I was
Okay.
like,
No,
what?
I
Yeah.
realized that I probably didn't pronunciate well. Before we do that, since I know we still have only a half hour left, if y'all wouldn't mind rolling for inspiration really quick. So make a new roll. I have marked. I think everyone pretty much will see. Drexlin, what did you get for inspiration?
8.
And Yvonne?
3.
Joe?
So wait.
Love?
Sorry, is it a D20 in this campaign?
D20, yes.
That doesn't matter because it's just a number.
Oh,
she rolled.
1. And
Sure.
Dacos.
Also a 1.
Wow. We're just pairing up.
Who did anyone get higher than an 8?
No.
Oh.
So and
1,
that
1, 3, 8, 8.
and 8s were Joe and Drexlin. You both get it because it was a 15.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll take it.
That's wild.
I'm inspired.
All right. So everyone for the perception check that rolled a 15 or above, would notice that, you would notice as day goes, that you do have, it was a pretty big jump. I would say that you would have had a guard following you towards the beginning until you got to the boat taxi. You would have had to take the boat taxi down a different thoroughway than the one you took before, because that was guarded off by guards. And then you would have had another guard that kind of followed you for a block right before you got to the pub, to the tavern.
Okay. And I'm sorry, there was a small emergency here that I had to disengage from. Tepesh came back from the meeting with Yo and Drexelin, and then proposed we go have dinner for what purpose?
Yvonne said, or someone said that maybe we shouldn't be talking here out in the open. Okay. Because they were starting to talk about just how weird it was. Someone suggested the forest, but Tepesh did say that, like, he had heard rumors that, like, guards were constantly guarding the forest, and then plus there's animals, and then also there were other rumors. He was like, he didn't believe them, but of the witch and of the dark magic.
So lying about rumors about guards in the forest?
No.
You really heard that?
Yeah. So someone suggested, somewhere else. So he said, Tepesh said that he knew of a small pub, a small tavern that he knew the owners of before, that he had frequented, so he could probably bribe them to give the place to himself, to the group with a little bit of coin. Nice. So that's where he's taking you, to the unique sheep. And he'll do the deal. Like, he'll go up, you'll go in, he'll go up to the person behind the counter, speak with them, and you will see a little bit of gold being passed between. Go ahead.
Where are we sitting? Like, back corner, because we're taking turns. If there's a spot, how far away is the bar where he is from us?
It's a very small place, so probably like 20 feet.
Is it busy at all? Like, if I talk to
there's
the group, is he going to hear me?
There's no one there.
Oh, okay. I thought he was... Gotcha.
There might have been a couple people there, but the person would have ushered them out and just kind of like closed up their tabs. And so it would be a few minutes.
He was up there doing the deal. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, no, I mean, but immediately as soon as they take the people out, he passes coin to the person to keep it closed.
Okay.
So you would have a window of probably like 5 minutes of him being about 20 feet away there, talking to the owner or the person behind the bar.
Okay. Thank you.
If you wanted it.
It's if it's not, if it's quiet or something. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you all sit down. Tepesh will join you about 5 minutes. You'll see the owner kind of flip the close sign on the door, and will even kind of, they'll come around and collect, like, if you want any orders or need any appetizers. But as soon as so in about 15 minutes after they get you your stuff and, the food or whatever, 15-20 minutes, they'll step in the back and give you privacy. And Tepesh will just sit back and just be drinking.
So, Quinn, if you don't mind me asking, which one was yours? In the throne room, that is. Which throne?
Oh, the left one, of course.
Was it weird being on the other side of it?
It was weird that the room hasn't been used. The odd thing is that, like, I was always the one that didn't like ruling. I didn't like being in charge. I still don't. I'm only doing it now just out of, someone has to, take charge of things. And
I apologize if this is a bit of a silly question, but Wasn't the whole point of this to test if Lyra was suitable to rule?
Yes, and she was damn good at it. And so, seeing a throne room not being used, which is where we would usually bring in complaints, bring in people who were needing things, is very interesting to me. And I'm not sure.
Oh, what else was interesting to me? The guard essentially telling her what to do. It was under guise of her being reminded of appointment. She seemed absolutely, I do not wish to say hapless, but she did not even argue a little bit.
It definitely doesn't seem like Lyra. Not saying that I don't think it's Lyra or that she seems not herself. And the guards never would have been that pushy with her. Not that I know of. I mean, they would. Zotar would. The higher ups would maybe give her guidance, and talk to her as kind of leeways between her and her father. Give her advice. But a regular guard would never usually step up like that.
Was she in contact with her father? Does he peek in on this point?
He doesn't come here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have people. I mean, he has people that he knows that, Zotar and, I mean, the guards are kind of all from him. So.
Strange question, even by my standards. She had a carved box. It seemed as if it had moving parts in it, and it seemed like she was preoccupied with it some way. It was she stood near it and touched it. She said it was from her father. Do you know anything about this?
I just know that it was a gift from her father to her mother. Her mother disappeared around, I say 12 years ago, I think. 13. That's all I know about it, was that it was just a gift that she cherished, especially after losing her mother.
Perhaps it is simply a source of comfort for her then. I do not know.
Maybe. Yeah, it's been there since... Well, it was there waiting for her when she was given the demi-plane.
Wait, and I know...
Yes.
I know what I just said about this being about her showing her ability and capacity to rule. But if we ignore what happened in the past and you walk in as though you have our eyes and we just got here, this looks less like a proving ground and more of a prison, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, it seems more of a prison.
Less a proving ground and more of a prison.
Oh, right.
Especially if they're not letting ordinary citizens leave.
I don't know, Yvonne. Like I said, when I was here, it wasn't... I thought that there was a system for if they wanted to leave. I just thought no one wanted to leave. I mean, why? We have fruits, we have food, we have... It was almost zero crime. And... I don't know. It's curious.
I have a question.
Sure.
And I want you to give not your considered answer. I want you to give the answer that appears in your heart without thinking. If this is a prison for Lyra, is her dad the jail keeper? Or is he ignorant of what's going on?
Well, think of it given the facts, right? Her father gave her the stimmy plane. Sent the guards here. They were waiting for her. Kind of set everything up. I know that he had a big hand in the two of us ruling together. And that was a deal I struck with him. I mean, with Lady Lyra's, approval, but it wasn't that I was just thrown upon her, but it was an agreement, I'll be the first to say.
I just wonder if going to him for help would be a very good idea or a very bad idea. I don't know.
I will say, it sounds as if there was a time of perhaps not peace, but at the very least not confusion here for a time before the plane was set up. If it was a prison, very likely it would have stayed that way forever, right? From the beginning, rather. But something happened, and she has fallen out of sorts.
Yes.
Quinn, a question. I know we just. What was supposed to happen when eventually she proved she was worthy of leading?
I was under the impression that it would just continue on.
This demi-plane.
Yes, unless she didn't want it to.
Has she ever expressed that thought to you?
No, in fact, quite the opposite. I believe, I thought I explained before, but maybe not, that I was the one that wanted to leave. I tried to convince her, because I knew that her father was, not forcing her to stay here, but she wanted to please him, and she wanted to prove herself. And I thought, as I said, I don't like ruling. And so I wanted to leave, and I wanted her to go with me. And then she did this, got upset and created the demi-plane and just kind of left me to rule it by myself. And then I didn't try to leave. I don't know. I made her upset, and I wanted to see if I could ever make it right, I guess. So I stuck around. And just let the thought of leaving just kind of die.
I don't think anybody blames you for what's happened.
They'd know.
We're just not sure who to ask for help or who to tell or who to suspect. I mean, the guard, he was a little bit mean. Zognar, I mean, he was a little bit mean, but he seemed to be interested in telling the truth. He just seemed to be interested in hiding things. Oh.
Yes. Most of what he said was truthful when he was speaking about Lyra not liking magic. But that's just a personal preference of Lyra, I imagine. He was definitely lying when he said that was why he was not going to use Zone of Truth. That was false.
I thought as much. It seemed a bit too convenient.
Yes.
So maybe he didn't even necessarily believe us. He just wanted to get us out of his hair and get us off the dummy plane.
I think he knew exactly what had happened. I do not think this was one bad apple that he had no idea of. I think he has realized that this particular ploy did not work out. He cannot admit it was him who did this, but if we remain, he will certainly try to remove us again. He made that much clear.
Which is funny because he won't let anybody who wants to leave go, except us.
As Yo and Yav are saying that, I just wanted to check and see if Ragnar was telling the truth when he said that, shit, I'm losing his brain's doing that thing where it completely loses its train of thought. Where he was saying that he didn't sanction it, that what's her name did it on her own. Was he lying about
Who?
that? Ragnar, the leader of the guards, said, "Oh, she came and talked to me. I told her no, do the investigating, and she just went ahead and did this on her own."
Zognar.
Zognar.
Yes.
That fucker.
Yes, he was telling the truth.
He was telling the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Damn.
My best. It does seem like it involves the guards in some way. My best guess would be that we need to maybe try to speak to Lady Lyra alone. Find some way. I just don't think that. I mean, she didn't go out of the estate much before, so I think that she's become even more of a hermit now.
Speaking of Lady Lyra, is she an only child by chance?
Yes, as far as I know.
Of course, this is all your choice and such. I can't thank you enough for all you've done in engaging with us and backing us and such. I'm starting to grow a little concerned for your safety here.
This is a concern I share as well.
I might just implore you to return to your plane with this, relative safety. If it doesn't come crashing down.
I should, yes.
If we need... Oh, please.
No, go ahead. Take us.
Just wanted to, not to impose, but you'd once before offered for us to go there. If we need to, if we find means, I think someone has, do we have a sequence, a teleportation circle in their realm or whatever? No? Would you, I think we asked, though, from his wizard, right? Maybe not. Could we impose upon you the means to travel? You'll sanction to travel to your realm.
Sure.
Perhaps...
Do you know the teleportation circle spell?
Does anyone know there's such a thing?
I do not know teleportation magic. That is not my fault.
Let me, what I could do is I could maybe grab some sending stones. In town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
in fact,
if you don't...
Carl might have some.
Carl.
We'll say that Carl decided to go somewhere else to eat. I'll check with him when we're out of here, and just remind me. That way I can check in.
Thank you. Truly appreciate it. And do be safe. That felt like quite a threat. So I'd really like to see you back safe.
Sure. I do worry about Lyra. You'll let me know if there's anything I can do as well, right?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think we all have the same interests at heart here.
If you do find a way to speak to her, in fact, there might be a different way in if you wanted that. Into the estate?
Listening.
A
Sounds interesting.
secret way?
Would you like me to, maybe tonight, when we get back to the inn, I'll draw up a map of the of the estate. I'll see if I can mark some places that I think might be good to try and sneak in if you want to. And if you need help, just let me know, and if I'll plan to go back tomorrow morning.
Oh, thank you.
Very kind of you to offer.
Of course. And then I'll make sure Carl gets you some singing stones, and yes. But please, I do just want to implore that if you find out anything, just let me know, okay? Because I will worry about her.
As do we.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright, well, it is getting evening. Anything else we need to talk about, or do we want to head back to the inn?
The Swan?
The Swan, yes.
I'm ready for some sleep and...
Okay.
Just to let you know, Quinn, I did relay to her that if she needed to reach out, we were more than willing to help her.
Okay.
So hopefully, maybe she'll get in contact with us if she can.
Okay. That's good. Thank you, Drexler. Alright, well.
And that offer goes for you as well.
Oh. Thank you. I appreciate it. Be sure to let you know. Well, are we ready to wrap up here? Head back to the inn? Okay.
We should set a watch tonight when we sleep.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah, probably. We do have extra people too. You know, we have, well, Carl's a bit of a heavy sleeper, but we do have,
Carl.
Yeah. Oh, Carl. We do have, what is his friend's name?
Prudence? Can Prudence keep watch?
Prudence has a general sense of her surroundings outside of not the keenest eye. I'm sorry, Prudence.
Well, when you say not the keenest eye, you'll feel a little knock on your neck of like.
So sorry.
Yes, Joe.
If we are worried of danger, I will take special precaution. I will cook us the Jarlskar. This is a traditional stew of my people. It will fortify you inside and outside. You will feel like you are made of steel.
Wow.
Or at the very least, you will feel as if nothing could be worse than drinking this Jarlskar broth.
Joe, I didn't know that you cooked, that you made things.
Oh, indeed, yes.
Oh.
Most of the things that I cook, I am not as used to cooking with the ingredients that they have here, but I will make it.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just like post guards or something. But
no, you
put
will,
up a watch.
you will have some of the Jarl stuff.
You will have this.
I'm quite interested. It sounds delightful.
Yava puts a hand on his club as they're walking, just to be safe.
Do not worry.
And he'll talk with the owner, Joe, if you want to cook it here in the pub.
Yeah,
in their kitchen.
Yo will cook it up here, but he's got his own. It's not like a full cook pot. It's like almost like they use for like stir frying, right? Like it's a pretty round thing. It actually seems like at one point he might have used it as his shield, because it's got some dents and nicks on the back. But
Nice.
He'll use that, and he just keeps adding like random things from his pouches. Like he drops in some like fish bones at one point, and he just takes a swig of something, scoffs, and then dumps like another gram of it in.
Nice.
But it'll take the duration of like a short rest.
Ooh.
And, I believe, yeah, everyone can gain temporary hit points.
Ooh. Okay.
Nice.
Super nice. All right.
That tickles. Tasty.
Yeah, so basically for 8 hours after you have it, so you don't have to have it now, the Jarl keeps, you'll gain 4 temporary hit points.
Oh, 4. Okay.
And the pub will give you
Nice.
like some kind of weird containers to like put it in.
It's kind of like steaming, and it smells somehow simultaneously like sweet and savory. It's a very strange concoction.
Okay.
But as he's kind of going around serving it to everyone, he'll, especially like when he goes up to Lev, he'll hand him the not Tupperware, and he'll put a hand on Lev's shoulder and say, "Tonight, Wraith will watch you. You will be more watchful than you have been in the past." And he's going to cast Vigilant Blessing on Lev. So you have advantage on initiative.
Nice.
Indefinitely.
Wow.
Until I use it on somebody else. I've been using
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It's amazing.
I would say this probably would put hair in my chest, but he looks down. There's already a lot of hair in my chest.
When we'll have a belly laugh at that joke. Like just see some of his little like
It
tattoos.
tickles my tummy.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it will put more chest on the hair.
All right, so we'll say that everyone starts back to the Swan, the inn, to retire for the night, unless anyone has anything before you go to bed.
I have something during sleep, but nothing beforehand.
All right, so everyone retires to their rooms, including Quinn. And Taxen and Dacos. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna ask a ghost to be an alarm for me and wake me up at like 3:30.
Okay.
Sometime when I think everyone will be sleeping.
All right.
Asleep.
The ghost is a bit salty, but we'll do it.
Nice. I'll try and return some sort of favor to the ghost whenever I can tell a loved one or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my ghost form. I'm gonna connect with what's his name, since I just saw him the past however many hours.
Okay.
So sorry. What's his name is not adequate. It's Zognar.
Zognar, yes.
I'm gonna catch Zognar
for
asleep.
dusk.
I want to approach maybe 8 feet, starting 8 feet away from his bed if he's asleep.
Yeah, 3 a.m. he is absolutely asleep and sleeping pretty well.
Good. I'm gonna rumble his bed. I'm gonna drop the temperature. It's gonna get real cold.
See a little spit coming out of his mouth as he's like just stretched out, snoring
little
a bit.
Children running around sounds. little music box chimes playing. And then I'm gonna start approaching, making a sound like I'm dragging chains behind me until I see him wake up.
Yeah, it would be like he'll kind of at first like the sounds just be like, what the? I just kind of look and just kind of like hear the chain sounds, be like, what is? And he'll take like a knife and like draw it out from under his pillow.
Oh.
What's that?
Okay. I'm gonna illuminate the space a bit with my ghostly presence. So ethereal whites and blacks, absence of light in areas, but it doesn't quite look like me. I look it's effectively me, maybe 1.5 feet taller, a couple feet taller, and I look much more fey.
Okay.
I look almost like an elven sort of fae. Crown affixed properly atop my head, and I just walk up step by step and get really close. And he can try and cut me if he wants. It just goes through.
Yeah, oh, he definitely would. Yeah, a couple of times, but
nice. Each step closer till I get up to your little, lantern, whatever.
Kind of like back up on his bed a bit and just kind of like against the wall.
Nice. I'm gonna get brighter and brighter, so it'll be almost a little bit blinding.
What is it?
Look me in the eyes. Let me make something clear to you. You will get to the bottom of the wrongdoing here done to the people. You will not stop me. You can kill me. You can do whatever you like. I will come back. Again. And again. And again. Each time stronger than the last. And you do not want to experience what I have to bring. Make yourself right before whatever deity you serve, if you plan on any more wrongdoing here. And I'm just gonna take a deep breath in and breathe out, and I have a lot of like little ghostly bees that come out, like start crawling out and fly out over his face.
I will definitely freak out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he'll feel him. He'll feel him a little bit, crawling in ears, up nostrils, and then just darkness and everything goes away. I roll over in bed and my pillow.
So he couldn't recognize that it was you?
I'm gonna say that it's close enough. It's just a little different because it looks a little more elven.
Okay.
A little taller, a little more like fae presence.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a resemblance.
There is a resemblance, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. And with that, we'll end tonight's session.
Great.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you,
Ichabod
viewers.
Crate.
Thank you, players, for the great session. You're the best.
Thank you, Steph.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, you've been watching the Penumbra Assembly, which is every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, except next Wednesday, which is our Patreon movie night for our Patreon people. So if you're not aware, we have a Patreon here. So for our supporters, $20 and up, each month we have a movie night. And that happens to be next Wednesday. So no Penumbra Assembly next Wednesday, but we'll start back up the Wednesday following. We have a lot of cool stuff here on the channel, though, to watch in the meantime. As soon as I schedule. This is it. Okay. So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Drawing Dan, where I'm teaching Dan, or Dakos, to draw. Well, Dakos won't look like Dakos tomorrow, but he'll be Dan. Womp womp. No, I'm just kidding. And then we have Paint by Minis at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, we have the Stormfall Initiative, which is where I work on the webcomic at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We have more D&D this weekend, though, in Extremis on Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and Sunday, Obsidian Scar at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, along with gaming, other sessions. We have more D&D on the way, down the line, all kinds of stuff. And, let me find someone for us to raid over to this evening. 1 second here. Trying to find someone that is live. Let's see here. Productions. Let's head over to Blackwater. Our friends at Blackwater D&D.
Oh, nice.
They are pretty awesome. Yeah, but you are the most awesome viewers ever, most awesome players ever. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you next time. Give a cock on the chat over at Blackwater D&D, and we will see you then. All right. Bye. now.